I realise the last lecture is all been recorded. Your blackout.
And you're roasting.
Yes. I realise it's a long time ago our last lecture. So I'll start this lecture with a recap, and then we'll talk about articles, which is not very much actually.
Yes.
So if I can have your attention. As I said, today's topic is articles, but first we'll start with a recap of the tenses. So I'm not recapping nouns, adjectives, etc. Because I feel the most confusing, complicated part of this course is the tenses, all the different tenses and how they link up. Good morning. So here are 5 sentences. Each one has a mistake regarding the tenses. So can you look at these sentences? I'll give you 10 minutes. We can work together. Can you find the mistakes, correct them, and explain your answer? You need to account for your answer as on the test. I'll give you 10 minutes.
Yes.
Right. Let's look at the answers. The police are trying to restore order for half an hour already. Can anyone explain to me what's... Yes?
Should be have been trying.
Have been trying. Can you explain why?
Because it's still ongoing. It's like it started in the past and it's still ongoing.
Yes, it started in the past and it's still ongoing. What do you want to say?
The word already is a keyword for the present perfect simple.
Yes, the present perfect. The word already is a keyword for the present perfect. Yes. We don't always use the present perfect with already, but quite often when you see the word already, you know it's a present perfect. In this case, a present perfect continuous. They have been trying. So here's 2 timelines. Here's the present continuous. That's the first tense you saw. The police are trying to restore. This means this is now, and here the police are trying to restore. Yeah, so this is right now, at this moment, this is happening. Whereas what you really want to say, this is something that started in the past and has been ongoing. So 2 hours ago, that's here. And it continued all the time until here, and it might continue into the future. Yeah, so this is only now, at this very moment. Yeah, so maybe 2 minutes ago and right now. But this one's 2 hours ago, have been trying. It's like really long ago, and it continued all the time till now.
So it's
Sorry?
present perfect.
Present perfect continuous.
Okay.
That is. Yeah, so here, this one, the example sentence is, I've been walking for 2 hours. 2 hours ago you started and you're walking all this time till now. Here, I'm walking to school. This is right now. Right now. Yeah, you don't want to say how long ago it started, that's not important. All you want to say is right now I'm walking. So if you say the police are trying to restore order for half an hour already, when you say the police are trying to restore order, then you're saying that's happening right now. But when you say for half an hour already, then that doesn't match. Because for half an hour implies this started half an hour ago. Yeah? And that's not the case with that's not what you want to say with the present continuous, are trying. So the police are trying to restore order. Typical mistake made by Dutch people should be the police have been trying to restore order. Yeah? Any questions? Later that day, while she made their dinners, there was a power cut. Any volunteers to explain this one? Tom?
It should be while she was making her dinner.
Can you explain?
Because her action is interrupted by the power cut.
Yes. While she made should be while she was making, because this action is interrupted by another action. So again here, while she made, there was a power cut. The past simple is used for single actions in the past. There was a power cut is in the past simple, because that's a single action in the past. The past continuous is an ongoing action in the past. We could say making, this is making. She was making their dinners. And then the past simple interrupts that action. Comes right into the middle of this action. When that's the case, the action that's ongoing, that's interrupted, is in the past continuous. Right? So you can't say while she made. With the word while is an indicator for a continuous tense. Now you can't say while she made. Well, you can. But usually, when you use the word while, you'd use a continuous tense. While she was making. Because while implies this is ongoing. Yeah, an interrupted action. One action interrupts another action. One's past simple, the other past continuous. Any questions about this? So this is all recap. Huh? If you feel you struggle with this, then go back to your notes, review the exercises, etc. Because there's more tenses coming, and if you can't keep up anymore now, then you're going to be in trouble with the exam. So make sure you go back to your notes. At the moment, I'm not knowing if I should buy an iPad. Anyone? Yes, Tim?
I'm just guessing here, but since it's a state verb, knowing,
Yeah.
you can't use a continuous tense.
Exactly. Know is a state verb. Describes a state rather than an action. To know something is something that's you experience. You don't do that. We can't use that in the continuous. State verbs can't be used in the continuous. You can't say I'm not knowing. You've got to say I don't know. I don't know.
Can't be used in.
Sorry?
Can't be used in.
State verbs cannot be used in the continuous. Here's a timeline for the present simple. This is exactly what a state verb is. It happens all the time, right? The present simple is something that happens all the time. Repeated action or a state. So here the example sentence is I walk to school every day. So this happens every day. It's like a habit. I don't know instead of I'm not knowing. How long are you here? Only since last week. Any volunteers to answer this one? Yes?
How long have you been?
How long have you been here? Exactly, can you explain?
Because it continues.
And
there isn't something that interrupts.
There's nothing interrupted, no. How long have you been here? It's not that sort of continuous tense, but it's correct. Can you think of any other rule? No? Anyone else? Yes, Tom?
The same as first sentence.
Yeah. Exactly, the same as the first sentence, but they're not continuous. Right? This is the present perfect simple. How long have you been here, rather than how long are you here? How long are you here implies the state. How long are you here? It's just like saying how it implies permanency. Like you live here. But what you want to say is you're only here since last week, right? Since last week. So you can't use the present simple because since last week implies this is a shorter period, this is not a state. This started in the past, recently, still still going on. So this is the present perfect simple. How long have you been here? It started in the past and continues till now. Yeah? This example sentence, I've lived here for 2 years. I started living here 2 years ago, and I still live here. Again, this is something Dutch people do all the time. How long are you here? Because you say that in Dutch. Hoe lang ben je hier al? You can't say that in English. You've got to say, how long have you been here? Haven't you seen Sheila? She's been here yesterday. Anyone who can answer that one? Yes?
Sorry, I'm still waking up.
Still waking up.
Yeah, I'll do the next.
Okay, Tim, can you help?
She was here yesterday because she's obviously lost, so she's no longer there.
Exactly. Has been is the present perfect simple, like this one. That's a tense. It always has a link to the present, remember? So when you say she has been here, then she's either still here, or there's evidence that she was here. Also, yesterday implies finished in the past, so there's no link to the present. With an indication of past time, like yesterday, last year, last week, during the holiday, what have you, you can't use the present perfect simple, the present perfect. So we can't say she has been here yesterday. With the word yesterday, you can't use the tense has been. It's got to be was. She was here yesterday. Yeah? So here is the past simple. She was here yesterday. She has been here implies this happened until now, or she was here and there's evidence, but definitely not with the word yesterday. You can't use the present perfect with the word yesterday. Yes?
Can't you say she has been here since yesterday?
Yes, you cannot. She's been here since yesterday. Yeah. 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 But then with the word since. Yeah? Again, the word since, for and since are key words for the present perfect. Any questions? This is an overview of all the tenses you've had so far. I know this is quite daunting for some of you. Please go back to your notes, revise the exercises, reread the chapters, rewatch the lectures, and make sure you keep up. Here's an overview of all the tenses. The present simple, I walk to school every day. This is facts, habits, things that happen regularly. Yeah, so you use that to describe hobbies, for example. I play the piano, I read books. This is something you do regularly. Or daily activities. I go to school every day. I travel to work by bus. Scientific facts that are always so. The sun sets at 7 o'clock in the morning. Water boils at 100 degrees, etc. Yeah? So things which are always true. The past simple is a single event in the past. I went to China last year. This is a single action or situation in the past that's finished, with no link to the present. You don't want to indicate that this is still going on. You don't want to indicate that there's evidence left. You don't want to indicate that this was ongoing at the time. You just want to say this was a single event in the past. Don't fall asleep, Thomas. I'll cut that out. So I went to China last year as a single event in the past, a single situation of action. And that's why we use the past simple, right? We also use the past simple as the present simple for past states. I lived in New York, for example. Yeah? Also remember, the simple is always without ing at the end. Continuous is always with ing. Simple is without ing. What's that noise? Oh, is that you? I thought there's someone outside trying to enter the room. The present continuous is a present action that happens now. In Dutch, here we would always say aan het. Ik ben aan het schilderen. Ik ben aan het lesgeven. I am teaching. I am painting. Yeah? So this is something which is happening now. We're emphasizing this is a temporary situation right now. I am walking to school. Don't interrupt me, I'm walking to school. Yeah, this is what I'm doing now. You can also use this for habits, remember, when you're annoyed. You're always making noises in class. You're always forgetting your keys. The past continuous is exactly the same as in the past. Present continuous and past continuous are exactly the same, but then in the past. One's past and the other one's present. I was walking to school again. Ongoing action in the past. Ik was aan het. Ik was aan het wassen. In Dutch. Yeah? The past continuous, remember, is quite often used for interrupted actions when something happens in between. I was walking to school when the bomb fell. Sorry for the unfortunate example. I was walking to school when I got a phone call. Yeah? So one action interrupts another action. Then the two perfect tenses, which are usually found to be more difficult. The present perfect simple, I've lived here for 2 years. Something which started in the past and happened till now. Usually recently stopped, but not always so. And the present perfect continuous, I've been walking for 2 hours. These two tenses, remember, are quite similar. And sometimes you can't tell the difference. But the only obvious difference is that this one's continuous, which means you emphasize this was ongoing. So I would say I've played the piano for so many years, but I wouldn't say I've been playing the piano for 2 years, because that implies it's a continuous action, and you didn't stop doing that. Yeah, so you'd only say I've been playing the piano if you wanted to enter the Guinness Book of World Records. So I've been walking for 2 hours. This is a continuous action. You didn't stop doing that, right? I've walked long distances for 2 years now. Means you didn't do this continuously, but this is a habit you developed over the last 2 years. This is a hobby you practiced over the last 2 years. Yeah? So here you zoom in on the action more. You make the action come forward. I want to emphasize how hard it was, how difficult it was, how long it took, etc. So, one last thing. How can you remember the names of the tenses? Very easily. Present simple, the form of the tense, walk, is present. There's nothing added, no have, so this is just present, and there's no ing. So this is simple, present, simple. Same goes for past simple. This is the form of the verb is past, and therefore it's the past simple because there's no ing. This one, the form of the verb is present, and then there's ing, so present continuous. The form of the verb here is past was, and then there's ing. So this is past continuous. Present perfect simple, have lived, have is a finite verb, it's actually present form, right? That's why we call it present. But then the non-finite form is perfect. It's a past tense form, it's a perfect form. So that's why we call it present perfect. There's no ing, so present perfect. Simple. For this one, the finite verb is present, have. The non-finite verb, then, the next one is perfect. Past tense, been, have, been. And the next one is continuous, ing participle. So it's present, perfect, continuous. That's how you can know. You're looking very confused. You don't.
Yes, I don't understand.
You don't understand that at all. Oh dear. I went to a stage visit yesterday, and I emphasized to the student, if someone doesn't understand it, you shouldn't just go by it, you should explain it again. So here we go. Have been walking, is present perfect continuous. How do I know? Hello. I'm going to explain it again. I'm just waiting for. I thought more people were coming in. Have. This tense is have been walking, right? The first verb is always what we call a finite verb, right? Remember that syntax. The first verb is present, have. It's not had. It's present, have. That's why the name of the tense starts with present. The second verb in the verb group is been. That looks like a perfect form. The third form in the third column in the irregular verbs list. That's always we call it perfect. Voltooid tijd. Voltooid is perfect, right? So present, and then this is the perfect form. Present, perfect, and then walking is a continuous form because it's ing. That's why we call it present, perfect, continuous. That's how you can find out. Is that clearer? Great. So on the test, you'll be asked to write down the names of the tenses. If you're in doubt, just follow this rule. Start with the finite verb, second verb, next verb, and then do finite. Yeah? Okay, what do we do next? Are we having a break or we skipping a break? Someone's in for a break. Well, it's quite early still for a break. So I'll continue. Any questions about the tenses? No? Okay, let's have a 5-minute break because I can see people falling asleep. And,
We can't proceed with
Is it on? Yes, okay, for the sake of the camera, let's just go back. White unicorn. A unicorn, a white unicorn, because the word starts with a y and not with an u. We don't say unicorn, we say unicorn. Yeah? So for words which start with a consonant, and un for words which start with a vowel. Oven and a red oven, both euro starts with a y, so a euro. But heir to the British throne is an heir. We don't say hair, we say heir. Someone asked what's the difference between heir and heir. There's no difference in sound. The meaning is different. Yes?
No, there's only one heir to the British throne right now, right?
Yes, you're quite right.
Prince Charles.
So we wouldn't really say an heir. We say the heir.
The heir.
Yeah. You're quite right. And house is a house and not an house. Yeah? Unless you're from a particular British region, you say an house. An house.
What?
I'm living in an house. A house. Right, so when it starts with a consonant and when the word starts with a vowel. I think this should be clear enough. Okay, can we stop talking and pay attention when I go to the next slide? Ah, the explanation, sorry. Sorry, I forgot about that. As I said, we use the indefinite article before consonant sounds, a book, a house, a teacher. However, the letters U or EU, when they sound like Y, then we also start with So we pay attention to the sound of the word, the phonemic transcription rather than the spelling. Yes?
So on the test we have to explain the sound. It sounds like
Yeah.
Ajay.
If you have to explain this on the test, I'm not sure whether you do, but if you do, then yes, you'd have to explain it starts with a Y. Yeah. Un is used before vowels. However, sometimes words start with an H, which is silent H, right? Honest or hour, we say an hour, an honest man. Interestingly, in old-fashioned English, early modern English from the 17th century, 18th century, you'd see such an one instead of such a one, because apparently one was pronounced differently. So it was probably pronounced on or something. Such an on. Such an on. Yeah? So the word pronunciation wasn't always there. So that's not so relevant for modern English. So silent H, don't forget to say an honest man, but don't say an house, say a house. Right. Here are 4 sentences. Can you say whether they're correct or not? If not, then correct them and explain your answer. I'll give you 1 minute for each sentence, which makes this exercise 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Is there a picture of Kendall Jenner in New York Times? No, I believe it's in the Vogue. This sentence is incorrect. What's the mistake? In the New York Times? No, I believe it's in Vogue. We use the definite article with the names of most newspapers, not all of them. Have a look in your book. This is not something you can know by rule, it's not something you just need to read and remember. But most magazines have no article. So she works for Libelle, not for the Libelle. Yeah? So the New York Times, but I believe it's in Vogue, not in the Vogue. But you need to be aware here that sometimes the name of the magazine includes the.
Yeah.
Yeah? So then, of course, you use the. The Observer, for example. Is that a magazine or is it a newspaper? Never mind. The Italian are known for their delicious pizzas. This is incorrect. Why? Italians. Nationality adjectives can only be used in this sense with an article if they end in ch or e's. So the Dutch, the Spanish, and the Chinese, but not the Italian or the German. Obviously, you can say the Italians, the Germans.
The German.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That's not a German accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a French accent, as if French.
Germans also use the Z.
Yeah.
The Germans, yeah. They like evading it.
They do. Foster's a professor at the University of Leiden. This is correct, nothing wrong with this. Don't say Foster is professor. I am professor. Or I am teacher. You sound very alien. Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's ever a difference, but for the nationality, the ending part, is that only in sounds or spelling?
Only in sound or spelling. Well, when in spelling, they end in CH, SH, or ESE, then you can use the. When the word itself is plural, then you can also use the.
Okay.
So that's a spelling. Yeah?
Yeah.
When you're referring to a building, always use the, as we do in Dutch. However, my friend's sick in hospital is correct, so we don't say he's sick in the hospital. Why? When you're referring to the purpose of the hospital, namely to care for sick people, then it's a hospital without the. My friend who committed a crime is in prison. He's in prison. We don't say he's in the prison, because here we're referring to the function of the prison, namely to imprison people who committed a crime. Prison as an institution, then we say he's in prison. If you want to refer to the building as a building, not referring to the function, then you use the. My friend's in the hospital. He's not there because he's sick. He's there to visit the building. He's in the hospital. Can you see the hospital? That's over there. You're referring to the building. But when you're referring to the function, you say, I'm in hospital, which means I'm sick. Yeah.
So in sentence 3, you could say Foster is studying at the University of Leiden. Or at the University of Leiden.
No, because we don't do this with all buildings. No, you're quite right. You're quite right. But it's the University of Leiden because it's one particular university in Leiden. But you can say he's studying at university. Yeah,
Okay.
he's at university. Yeah, you don't say he's at the university. So when the building has a particular function, like a prison, a hospital, or a school, university, when you're referring to that function, you don't use the. So I'm at school, but I'm in the school now means I'm there not to study, I'm just there to look at the building. I'm in hospital means you're ill. I'm in the hospital means you're not ill, but you're still in the building. Right? I'm in prison means you're imprisoned. I'm in the prison means you're there as a visitor, not because you committed any crime. I'm studying at university means I'm studying there. Yeah.
Like you said, because the university is specific, you have to put the.
Yeah, because you're emphasizing here the University of Leiden.
If the hospital was specific as well, you had to put the.
Yeah. If you want to say he's in the hospital in Rotterdam, he's in the hospital in Rotterdam, then you make it specific. Yeah. One specific hospital. Quite right. Yeah? Review this in your book. It's a matter of reading this and learning it by heart. It's not much to explain. Almost done. There is 2 sentences with 2 mistakes. I'll give you 30 seconds to correct the mistakes. No, 1 minute, because you need to explain as well. 1 minute. Right. That's 1 minute. What time's the lunch and can you play piano? With meals, we don't use articles. And this should be musical instruments, but the instruments somehow disappeared. Someone stole the instruments. So don't say, I play piano, that's what you say in Dutch. Very common mistake. With musical instruments, we don't use the. As with professions. People say, a profession is the other way around, sorry. So these are two mistakes Dutch people very often make. They either say, I play piano, or I play guitar. That's what you say in Dutch. Ik speel gitaar, of ik speel piano. Or they say, my brother's carpenter. Mijn broer is timmerman. I want to be carpenter. You can't say that. I want to be a carpenter. My brother's a carpenter. I'm a teacher, not I'm teacher. So what time's lunch? Don't say the lunch. What time's dinner? What time's tea? Don't say what time's the dinner, what time's the tea. Right? Any questions? No questions? Skip this one. There we go. Last exercise is a review. And there's only one sentence, obviously. Apparently. Because they all start with one. How many? 6. I'll give you 30 seconds for each. 3 minutes to finish this exercise.
We have to buy you flowers
Right.
for that.
Sorry?
We have to buy you flowers for that.
For what?
For syntax.
The syntax. Flowers are always nice. What kind of art, the art you prefer? Of course it's what kind of art. Why? Well, because of this. Art is something in general, right? It's a general thing. It's like water or beer. It's an uncountable noun, and with uncountable nouns, we don't use articles. We don't say the water, unless we're talking about specific water. When we're talking about water in general, or art in general, or beer in general, or school in general, education in general, these are all uncountable nouns. We don't use an article. We don't use an article. We bought a sculpture and a painting from that gallery. A or the painting is in our living room. Obviously it's the. This of course is the opposite. This is a singular noun. Singular countable noun. 1, 2, 3 paintings. This is countable. There's only one. That's why we use the. A beautiful picture. We use a or un to describe a person or a thing. This is quite obvious, I think. But when you teach in the Randstad, you always have students with a different linguistic background who'll do this wrong. The National Gallery, not National Gallery, but the National Gallery, with names of museums, cinemas, theatres, etc. We always use the article the. The picture was painted in the 16th century. With historical periods, we use the article the. As I said, this is just a list in your book which you need to learn by heart. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. When you use nouns with numbers, like bus 19, room 18, whatever, then we use a or an or the. Sorry, we don't use a or an or the. Yeah, so we don't say the room 18 or a room 18, as we do in Dutch really. Bus 19, kamer 8.